All right, welcome to day 5 of the 7-day fast start. And today's lesson is all going to be about personal branding, which is the very last step before you start sending those messages to potential clients. Now, if you're like a lot of recruiters on LinkedIn or professionals, you might be thinking, you know what? My LinkedIn profile looks really strong and my website looks good. Like, I can skip this step. I'm just going to skip ahead. While that might be tempting, please don't skip this, because just like with anything else, you have one chance to make a good first impression with any prospective client. So it's like, imagine you're going into a face-to-face interview for your dream job. Like, you have that one chance to make a good first impression. And so you want to have your, hair done, you have a nice outfit on, you're looking good, you're feeling good. All that's going to help just boost your confidence and boost kind of their first perception of you. Because when you're reaching out to potential recruiting clients, you're a stranger on LinkedIn. They have no idea who you are. And just like every other person, they're going to take a quick 3-second glance on your LinkedIn profile, your company page, your website. And if there's any red flag, any potential confusion there, something that doesn't quite add up, it's going to dramatically lower your response rate. But on the flip side, when a hiring manager sees your profile on LinkedIn and they might snoop around your company page on LinkedIn, your website, then if it looks great, that increases your response rate. So we want to optimize everything and dial it all in. It's part of our go-to-market strategy before you actually go to market. It's a pre-launch phase. So this is the very last step, just to tidy everything up and make sure that you look as good as you are. Because here's the deal. You're probably very hardworking. If you have a recruiting background, you're probably very good at recruiting, but hiring managers don't know who you are. So they don't know how good of a resource you can be for them. So we want to make sure that you look as good as you are and have everything be polished. Because at the end of the day, and here's what helps me to think about it, is put yourself in the shoes of a VP level hiring manager. They're kind of going about their day, they're busy, they get a message on LinkedIn from a recruiter or an independent recruiter, but they have no idea who this is. So they see the message, they read the message, and if you followed our best practices and guidance in terms of crafting your message, it's probably going to stand out. They'll think, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like I'm curious about this. But before I reply back, who is this person? What are they going to do at that point? Well, they're going to click on your name on LinkedIn and take that 2 or 3 second glance we all do when we check out a new person. And so they're quickly looking through, kind of like scanning a resume, and they're looking for anything that's going to compel them to reply back or repel them. So you want as many things there to be like, oh, this lines up. This makes sense. All you really want the hiring manager to feel is like, oh, this person looks legit and like they look solid and I like their background. And so there, because hiring managers, here's the deal, and you know this if you've been doing a lot of agency recruiting, is that hiring managers are extremely busy and they're kind of apprehensive about engaging with a new potential recruiting vendor, because they know that if they sign you on as a potential, if they sign you on as a client, right? So they're your client and you are a agency that they've retained to help them with searches, that you're going to be emailing them resumes. You'll probably be leaving them voicemails, calling them to follow up. Like, they know every new relationship they start with a recruiting vendor, a third-party recruiter, is going to be hours and hours per week of time commitment. That you're going to be following up. You're going to be asking to talk to them. You're going to ask to meet them to talk about certain roles or debrief about certain interviews. So they're very careful to not engage with a third-party recruiter unless they feel like it's going to be a very good use of their time on the initial call. And if they work with you, it's going to be a good working relationship. You're not going to be a time suck or a waste of time, because they've probably gotten burnt in the past by other recruiting vendors who overpromised, underdelivered. So now they're kind of like on guard to make sure that they're very selective of who they want to even take a call with. So that's why we want to have all of this dialed in. So I think the best way to show you some examples of how to brand your profile is I'm going to switch to a screen share in a moment, and I'll show you 2 profiles. One of someone who we worked with who is fully branded, meaning this is their full-time thing, running the recruiting business. And if this is your full-time thing and you're not doing it part-time on the side, then you can fully brand your profile and have everything be very clear and overt about what you offer. Now, I'll show you another profile of someone we're helping who has a full-time job already and is currently working there, so she can't fully promote her recruiting business. But there are some things that we helped her do on her profile to really highlight her personal strengths. So let me switch over to that, and I think you'll see what I mean. All right, let's take a look at two LinkedIn profiles. One is Lauren's, and she is fully branded. She's doing it full time. And the other one is McKenna. McKenna Fisher is a recruiter working at a company, but she's looking to start her own part-time recruiting business. So she can't fully brand as much as Lauren, but she's implemented a lot of best practices that we've helped her with. So let's take a quick look and you can see the differences. So with Lauren, so let's just take a look at her profile and both profiles from the eyes and lens of a hiring manager. So let's imagine you're a healthcare hiring manager because she's in the healthcare space. Obviously, it's right there in her banner, which is solid, right? That's a very good design element there. But let's say you saw Lauren's message, you like the message, you're like, wow, this is very specific. It's niche down, it resonates with exactly the hiring pain that our team's experiencing. But before I reply back to Lauren, let me click on her name on LinkedIn and pull up her profile. Let me take a quick look at who this is. So now we're going through here. So just from top down, they're going to see, okay, professional headshot. Clearly her own business. She's promoting her own brand here. And the headline is very clear. Like, do I know what she does? Leading in healthcare starts with the right leader. Talent solutions, 15 plus years, hospitals and healthcare teams. So before I even start reading any copy on the profile, the headline or anything else, just from the banner alone, as a hiring manager, I'm clear on what she does. Healthcare, right? That's got my attention. I'm in healthcare, 15 plus years. Okay. Experience, hospitals and healthcare teams. I'm a hiring manager at the hospital, right? All this stuff should be resonating. Again, the profile on LinkedIn and the LinkedIn company page, your website, all of it should be really designed for one purpose and one purpose alone, which is attracting potential clients. That's it. Because you know this, if you've been recruiting, candidates don't care about any of this stuff. They only care about what job opportunity you're reaching out to them. So they don't care. If you work at a 9-to-5 job and you're doing this again part-time, your boss probably doesn't care about your profile being super optimized. Like, you're just there, you're an employee, you're working. They're not really probably too concerned about what you say on your profile. But potential clients will look at it. So again, everything's designed to attract potential clients. So here now, that's the banner. So banner, check. Profile picture, check. Looks good. If a profile picture is kind of subpar or you feel like it's not quite, subpar is kind of mean. If it's not quite, you're not loving your profile picture, there are tons of AI photo tools out there that you can upload like 8 photos yourself and they'll kind of like put them all together and give you a bunch of samples really quickly. So that's one option, easy way to go about it versus having to like hire a photographer, take a professional headshot like Lauren did. These days you can just use AI and get a really nice looking photo and get it done quickly and really cheaply. So here, let's read her headline now. So this is the most important piece, your profile and your banner. The second, it's most important because it's what they see first, right? If they don't like what they see here, what are the odds that they're going to read further? They're not going to. So you have to kind of win them down top to bottom. So banner looks good. Profile looks good. This section looks good. It doesn't have any links to her university or things that might not be relevant. Has the name of her business. And now the headline. That's the next piece. Headline is partnering with hospitals and systems to find top leadership talent. So really clear. She does leadership recruiting within healthcare organizations. And she's even more specific. Remember, like that's niche enough. That's executive recruiting in healthcare. That's a great niche. Now she's even sub-niching, being extra clear to them, saying, I specifically look for help people place directors, VPs, and C-level leaders. So even more specific and a little bit about, a boy mom herself. That's nice too. And so that's good. Of course, 500 plus connections is the gold standard. You can kind of clearly see here. I can't see if she has. No, I'm clicking all over the place. All right. I can't see if she has 501 connections or 5,001 connections. All I see is 500 plus connections, which is the gold standard. If you don't have this yet, I highly recommend before you launch, before you reach out to prospects, is that you get your profile up to 500 plus. We help with that as well. There's processes. If you have automation, you can quickly use automation to get connections fairly quickly. And that way, when you reach out to a potential client, that just checks out. If you have less than 500 connections, the potential client's going to wonder, like, wait, what type of recruiter is this? Because as a recruiter, we're sort of representing that we have a big network of people, that we know a lot of people. So if you have less than 500 connections, either you're new to LinkedIn, which, why would they work with you if you're new on the platform? Because a lot of candidates are on the platform. Or two, you have a small network, in which case also, why would they want to work with a recruiter with a small network? So get that to 500 connections. You probably already have that, but just in case you don't, that's why it's important. Then the very next thing is the About page. The About section really is all about just this real estate here. Again, people are not going to expand then click on see more if they don't like what the first line says. So your most important line is the first one. This is like, it's a make it or break it. It's the headline of the billboard. When you're driving by, it'll determine whether people take a glance at it or not. So here she says, I specialize in helping hospitals and healthcare systems find and hire leadership talent with key experience that will help move their organization forward. So again, very clear what she does. People are probably not going to read this. I'm not going to even read this because at this point, I get it. I'm sold. This all makes sense. But what I do like that she does include is here, our recent placements. So again, even if you're just working for another recruiting company or you're in-house, you're a corporate recruiter, if you've made placements before that are placements for candidates within your niche, highlight them, right? So she goes, I've placed a CFO, CNO, COO, director level positions. I placed a director of quality. I know this role. This is a really great placement she made. So here you're just highlighting, like, here's my track record of success. Now, if you don't have a formal recruiting background, you don't have any of this to dangle, not a problem. You can do other versions. You can talk about your recruiting process. You can talk about, this is kind of where you highlight and brag about yourself a little bit. So, but the best way is to say, hey, here's example of types of roles in your niche, in your organization that I've placed. And the idea here is if the hiring manager has any type of hiring campaign now or in the future that has any type of roles that are similar to these roles, what are they going to think? Oh, wow. Yeah, we are struggling to find a COO, and she's placed multiple COOs before. I'm going to want to talk to Lauren. So again, very important thing. You can have a little call to action to your email if you want. So if all you do is just do this part, you're going to be solid, right? Now, of course, let's keep going. Everything's important, but just want to emphasize, if they don't like what they see in the first section of your LinkedIn profile, they're not going to read on. So I say this because some people optimize like the very last, they optimize the bottom part here and like, dude, they're not even going to get to that section. Let's clean up the top parts. The next section is a section that I think not a lot of people utilize, which is the featured page. And I love the featured section because it's funny. I made an example a moment ago of like a billboard, and the copy and headline of the billboard will determine if, you're stuck in traffic, are you going to look at that billboard or not? Same thing here. This is kind of like a billboard on the freeway where with a feature, you can take a post or add an image, add a link to your website. Then you can add a professional banner and copy here. And this is almost like an ad. You want them to click on it to be like, oh, interesting, work with me, right? Clear call to action. If they like what they see, they like your message, you want to help make it super easy for them to reach out to you. So Lauren's done that. Work with me. Click here. It's a link. So let's say we click on there. It pulls up, expands her profile. And when you click view, now it should take us to her website. So perfect. What it says here, work with me, visit our website. It takes them there. So you want to make sure everything is congruent. This is probably a good opportunity now to switch gears a bit and let's look at website stuff. So now, let me shrink myself. All right. Now, as a hiring manager, so far I'm pretty much sold on everything I see here, but I want to be extra curious. Again, I'm a little cautious. I've been burned by recruiters with fancy looking profiles. Let me just take a quick peek to make sure that this is legit, this is professional looking, that this person, is as good as they say they are. So website looks good, very clear. Check this out. The positions that she talks about, that she places, right? The roles that she helps fill is exactly what she says in the copy here. So here, Chief Nursing Officer, CNO. I see here, Chief Nursing Officer. Everything is aligned. When your message you send to a hiring manager is very specific, and then your LinkedIn profile reinforces that, you repeat it in your LinkedIn profile, and your website also says this is what you do, all that you do, and your LinkedIn company page says that, right? Your message, LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn company page, website, when all of that messaging is in alignment, all the branding, all the elements are aligned, then you have a highly congruent, highly resonating, platform here. And that totally spikes your response rate. As you can imagine, when everything lines up, what the hiring manager is going to probably think is, wow, if this is all Lauren does, if these are the only roles that she focuses on, that's all she talks about, then she's probably really good at it, right? Versus every other recruiter is trying to work with every other client that's trying to get every job order out there that has no niche that says we do everything great. We're the best at everything. Again, we don't want to be that person. That person gets ignored all the time. That person said, hey, I've been reaching out to hundreds of potential clients. I'm getting no response. It's crickets out there. The market's dead. Recruiting's dead. And they're just naysayers. It's because they don't have this stuff dialed in at this level. So again, taking a quick glance, which is what all a client will do, a potential client, that looks good, great. Now, if they're curious, they might peek at the company page, like, let me take a quick look. Okay, see more. Again, copy here aligns as well. But I'm curious, let me just click on the company page. Super important, by the way, though, I keep hitting back. Super important, you see here how she has a nice professional logo. That looks good. She has our logo because she does coaching for us now. She's Lauren. I should have mentioned this earlier. All-time best student, best client I've ever worked with. She came to me as a corporate recruiter. Where was she working? She's working, I think, as a talent director, and was stressed out, burnt out, making good money, but not loving her life. She started her own recruiting business. We helped her. We did all this stuff with her. And this year to date, she's built, this is October 1st as I'm recording this, she's already built over $1 million this year alone. It's her third year of business. Last year was the second year. She built north of 800K. Again, just doing everything at the highest level and growing a team to support her and taking on more clients. So I'm kind of bragging about her, yes, because I'm hoping me bragging about Lauren a little bit will help you inspire to do all these things that I'm recommending. But here, if I click on the company page, people often neglect this. They'll do their website, they'll do their profile, they'll get it really dialed in, but they'll kind of skim over their company page. Company page, equally important. You want to have everything look good. You want to share content. If you're posting on your profile, sometimes occasionally share that post. Add some content here. Don't make it just empty. A lot of people just have it empty. Everything should look good. The about us, again, anywhere they look. Now, one trend you might be noticing is it gets repetitive. You might be thinking, well, I've already seen the role she's placed, the chief nursing officer. I read about that on the profile. I saw that on the LinkedIn page. Yes, that's by design. You almost, some people say, hey, because I said this here already in the banner, I want to say something different in the headline, and I kind of want to highlight different things in my about page. And under my experience, I want to maybe talk about something else. No, you want to, repeat yourself. You don't want to assume. You might not want to assume that they're going to read everything. They might skim through this catches their eye, or they might be bouncing through different parts of your profile. So as best you can, you want to highlight the same thing over and over again. Your headline should see the same thing as your banner should say the same thing as your headline, which should see the same thing as your about me, same thing as your featured profile, the banners here and the copy here, as well as the experience, as well as the company page, as well as the website. Because you never know what they might be jumping around on. You want to make sure that you reinforce your main thing. Keep the main thing, highlight your niche. And when they see that, especially more than once or twice or three times, they're like, wow, okay, clearly this is all they do. Clearly, if this is all they do, they're probably good at it. I think it'd be worth my time to reply back. And yes, I'll take a call with Lauren. Hey, Lauren, thanks for your response, or thanks for reaching out to me. Love your background. I think we do have a need for a chief nursing officer. Interested to hear your placement and the type of organization you place them with. If they're similar to us at all, we're kind of unique in our hiring methods or whatever. But yeah, when would you be free to speak? Would love to chat with you. So that to them, they're not thinking about all the things I'm talking about. They're just gleaming through things, but subconsciously they're picking up like, oh, that looks nice. That looks professional. That's a niche. Everything checks out. Their website, they took the attention to like add the right pieces of content. This is not someone that skimmed things over. They don't cut corners. And if again, this is the subconscious part of their brain is, again, this is all about human decision making, is if they see that everything is dialed in and polished and that you don't cut corners, that if they work with you, you're also probably going to go all in, be dialed in, not cut corners, and do your best work there. So they're going to gleam from how well you optimize your brand to kind of infer how legit and how good you are going to be. Again, we want you to make you look as good as you are. Now that's an example of someone that's fully branded. So if you don't have a daytime job, or your daytime job doesn't care what you do on LinkedIn, then this is the approach you want. Very clear, very, very effective. Now let's look at McKenna's profile. So McKenna is someone who does have a job, so she cannot fully brand. So you can see here, it just says startup tech recruiter, and her profile, so professional for profile photo. She's using AI here to optimize that. Her banner is clean, it's clear, has her name, personal branding method, right? You're highlighting yourself, your name, and it just says startup tech recruiter. So again, pretend I am a potential client. I see McKenna's message. I'm a CEO of a SaaS startup here in San Francisco, let's say. I take a look at her message. Oh, wow. Very specific to the type of roles that we need. Let's say machine learning. I'm like, oh, we do need someone with machine learning. Let me click on this person, McKenna. Who is she? Right away from the banner, startup tech recruiter. Oh, we're a tech startup. So far, so good. Like, this is resonating. I'm feeling good about this so far. Then I look at the headline, helping startups hire top talent in engineering, data, AI, machine learning. Oh, we need those type of roles. And these roles, the reason why we had McKenna kind of highlight some of these positions is not only is she good at it and has a track record, but these are the roles that most potential clients that she would want to work with are all looking for. These are in-demand positions. So to kind of as a hint here, whatever roles you highlight, make sure that they are, as best to your ability, universally attractive. That if you dangle in her niche, a AI engineer, a machine learning engineer, a data engineer, that most likely there's a good chance that a tech startup's going to need at least one of those type of people. So she's kind of grouping them all the same. She's dangling some universally attractive carrots in front of potential clients. Great that she has 500 plus connections. So far, so good. So far, again, not as branded as Lauren, but it gets a job done, and it's very, very clear who she helps and what she does. Now, what she doesn't do is talk about her business, because right now, if you see in her experience, she's working at a recruiting company now. So her business is not on her profile. Not a problem, because when she reaches out to potential clients, they might assume that she's reaching out on behalf of this company here or a company she works at. Some people work at a couple different gigs. They're probably going to assume that you work at some company. They're not really going to care too much, because again, they like the message, they like the brand, they see what you're doing, it's clear, it's resonating. If they click on her about section here, very, very short. Remember, I talked about the most important real estate of the about section is the first line. Well, she only has one line, so straight to the point, it's great, right? Passionate about scaling early and growth stage startups with a focus on hiring, engineering, data, again, all resonating with her headline. So this is exactly the same as this. So far, I'm like, okay, if that's all she does, probably good at it. And when she reaches out to me, who is it? What's his company? Kinetic. I take a look. Okay, it's a company. Interesting. Maybe they do some agency work. Maybe they do consulting. She might be reaching out to me on behalf of this. But If the message is good, your headline's good, and it's clear what you do, this will get the job done. They'll reply back. And then on a client call, on a sales call, at some point, McKenna will probably slip in, oh, hey, this is a candidate that I'm working with. Unfortunately, I don't have anything for them on my desk, right? That soundbite. And they saw that we were connected on LinkedIn, and they are looking to work at a tech growth startup like yours. They actually come from the fintech space, same as your industry. Let me know if you like to meet with them. Yes, I would love. I mean, one can interview this candidate. They sound awesome. Okay, yeah, no problem. Happy to arrange that. By the way, and this is kind of where she would slip in organically and weave in the conversation that, all right, I kind of have my own recruiting business going. She would say something along the lines of, by the way, because this candidate is confidentially looking, right? They're currently working, they're confidentially looking for new opportunities. They've asked me to basically represent them in their search. So as such, I do a bit of part-time consulting. I do a bit of consulting on the side when I come across a top candidate like Jon. So in that case, so I guess I'm curious, have you worked with recruiting agencies? Do you work with independent recruiters in the past or currently? Oh, tell me more about that. Got it. What type of fees do you normally land on? Yep. Yeah, we do 20% as well. A 90-day guarantee. That works. Great. Perfect. Well, so anyways, be happy to arrange an interview. How does tomorrow at 3 o'clock sound to you? Great. I'll reach out to Jon, the candidate. I'll arrange an interview. What's the best email? Blah, blah, blah. We can talk about the interview process. Oh, forgot to mention, I just need to have a agreement, of course, signed up on before I can send you his full profile and confirm the interview. Would you prefer that I send you my one-page agreement? Or do you have a contract agreement that you normally send to recruiting vendors? Whatever you prefer. They might say, and if they've hired from other recruiting agencies in the past, they probably have what's called an MSA, a Master Services Agreement. They might say, yeah, we have an MSA that's been pre-approved by finance and legal. So I'll have Hillary from HR send that to you, and I'll have her onboard you as a preferred vendor. Just take a look. If the terms look good, go ahead and just sign off on that, and let's get the search commenced. Let's get things going. So basically, when you are doing this in incognito mode, like McKenna, that's when you'll want to reach out, have the same messaging, but in the conversation with the hiring manager, you essentially let them know that you do a bit of consulting on the side when it comes to talent, when you're asked to represent certain individuals who you don't have a role currently for. Again, just to cover yourself. So that's kind of how you do that. That's how you optimize a profile in incognito mode. So I hope this has been helpful. Let me switch back now to the previous screen, and then we'll wrap things up with action items for today's Fast Start. All right, I'm back, and I hope that was useful to see examples of what a optimized profile looks like, whether you're doing it fully branded, full-time, or doing it part-time, and you're kind of highlighting more of your personal brand. Now, this is super important, so please take some time now and do this action item. And the action item is pretty simple. I'd like you to find at least 3 recruiting business owners, 3 independent recruiters who are in your niche and whose profile you like. So again, just type in like recruiting business owner or title equals owner, title equals founder on LinkedIn. Type in the niche, type in recruiting company for industry or recruiting agency, and so just kind of browse through and kind of open up a whole bunch of tabs and find some profiles of people who are like, oh, I like their banner. So just kind of set that aside. Oh, this person, oh, I really like their headline. That's really like clean. I like that. Save that person aside and try to find at least 3 profiles of existing recruiting businesses in your niche, basically people that would be your potential competitor, and just set those aside. Then kind of go through them and see which elements of their branding you might want to adopt, mimic, kind of make it your own. So if you like someone's about me section, be like, I like how they phrase that. Let me take that. Let me run it through AI or modify it yourself, make it your own. Of course, don't just copy or steal it, but you can kind of get inspiration from these people. So do that, and I guarantee that's a quick way to start to enhance your profile on LinkedIn, all your other assets. And then the other action items here is, so number 1, find 3 recruiting business owner profiles, set them aside and start to adopt anything that you like and borrow it from their profile. Of course, make it your own. And then the second action item here is to post your LinkedIn profile once you've optimized it into the comment section. This way, myself, my whole team, other people looking at this can chime in and give you their 2 cents. And again, it's a really fast way to get a bunch of eyeballs on your LinkedIn profile. And this is the time to take that feedback, to tweak it, to optimize it before you launch your recruiting business, before you start reaching out to potential clients. Because again, you only have one chance to make a good first impression. And I guess a final thought I'd like to leave you with is every recruiting business owner I know, their client profile, like who they work with, follows the 80-20 rule. In other words, 20% of all their clients generate 80% of their billings. So what that translates to is every agency owner I know, myself included, we have 1 or 2 clients that give us the bulk of our business. They hire from us month over month over month. And, we've built over $100,000 per year on that one client alone, sometimes much more than $100,000. So they become what's called a key account. They keep feeding you business over and over and over again. They're your best client. They're always hiring from you. They love working with you. They pay on time. They're great clients. And you want to retain those clients because, again, you're making 6 figures a year for each one of your key accounts. Now, that's the end goal. Like, you'll get there. However, in the beginning, when you first take an initial call with a hiring manager, you don't know whether or not they're going to be a client that hires from you once, then never hire from you again, or if that hiring manager becomes a key account, becomes someone that feeds you job orders and gives you repeat business year after year after year. And unfortunately, if you rush this process, you go out and you start reaching out to potential clients and your niche is not quite refined, your messaging is not dialed in, your personal branding, your profile isn't quite clean, it isn't as good as it could be, you're gonna hurt your chances of getting a response. And if you don't get a response, nothing happens. That's it, game over. You have to then try other people in that organization or just reach out to other companies. So that being said, hopefully I'm trying to just instill the fact that if you launch quickly and hastily without having things optimized, you're going to have a suboptimal response rate. And the challenging thing is here, if you start reaching out to potential clients and then they don't reply back, and then you say, okay, well, maybe I'll go through this step and I'll dial in my messaging, my profile, my niche, my website, and then you reach back out to them, let's say 2 months later, what's going to happen? They're going to see your message, but they're also going to see the previous string, the previous thread of the last time you reached out to them and they said no or no thanks. If you reach out to them again, they're going to automatically see that they said no before to you. So their default answer is going to be no. Again, once that door closes, it's very hard to reopen it. So we want to shoot our best shot, get our foot in the door, and put our best foot forward. So please follow these steps. Again, action items are 2 things. 1, find 3 profiles of people you like on LinkedIn, adopt the parts of their profile that you do like, and then also drop it in the comments, post your LinkedIn profile, ask for feedback. The more you ask for help, the more help you'll get. This is how it works. Again, people tend to be a little shy. I'm like, I don't want to put myself out there. Please put yourself out there with us, with the people watching this, with the community, with my team. That's a much better way of getting help than, we'll give you feedback to help you versus potential clients are not going to give you that feedback. They're just going to ignore you, say no, and you're not going to know why. So again, the more you ask for help, the more help you get. In fact, this part of the work is so important that we actually do this for all of our private clients. Just to give you an idea of why, of how important this is during the first week of every time we work with a new client, our branding specialist sits one-on-one with them to optimize all parts of their LinkedIn profile, their LinkedIn company page, the copy, the images, the banners, the design, the logo. We do the design piece for our private clients because, again, so many people, even with their best intentions and good skills, can get it wrong. And again, they might not be drastically wrong, but it's not quite optimized and it hurts the response rate. And again, so many years of doing this, I've kind of stumbled upon people's profile a few months into the program. I'm like, that's not quite optimal. They're getting low response rate. I'll fix their profile. And then now all of a sudden, the response rate spikes and they're happy, but I'm thinking to myself, I wish I caught this on week 1 versus month 2. And so after seeing that time and time again, even though we had training in our courses, hey, watch, like this type of video, follow these steps, people would just do it their own version. It wouldn't be quite right, or they'll rush it, or they'll skip it. Nowadays, we're like, all right, this is such an important piece of a recruiting business's launch that we're going to do the design for them to make sure and ensure that everything's done to best practice. Of course, you don't have to be our private client to get this type of treatment. You can just follow these steps and it'll generally get you dialed in fairly quickly, so that when you begin reaching out to potential clients, which is what tomorrow's lesson is going to be all about, you have everything buttoned up and you're feeling good, you're feeling confident, and you know that when you do reach out to clients, you're going to have a good shot at getting a response. All right, hope this has been helpful. Go ahead, take care of those action items, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.